What's going on, guys? It's Noah from Team Proprietary, and today I'm actually coming at you with first, the first video that the channel has kind of put up in a long time. I've been away from the game for a good long while, and we just recently started to get back into it, and we're just kind of playing around with a lot of the stuff that's out right now. And so the deck I'm actually bringing for you guys today is DDD, and this deck is actually super fun, super combo-based deck. And it's not seeing a lot of love right now, but I feel like it's going to, once the structure deck comes out, I feel like it's going to be really, really, really nutty, and I think a lot of people realize that. And so if you don't really know what the deck does, or you're interested because the structure deck's coming out, and you're like, man, I really want to play this deck once the structure deck's out, this deck profile will just kind of be for you, just to kind of show you like what how the plays are made with the current style of the deck before the support. So we'll just go ahead and get into it. So to start off, we're playing 3 copies of Swirl Slime. Swirl Slime is by far one of the best cards in the deck. It basically initiates most of your fusion plays and gets your graveyard targets into the graveyard. You basically discard it from your hand along with another monster to fusion summon a DD monster from your extra deck. You can also banish this card from your graveyard to special summon a DD monster from your hand, which is super, super relevant. That effect comes up actually more than the discard effect, realistically. Then we play 3 copies of Necroslime. Necroslime is the other kind of fusion mechanic of the deck. While it's in your graveyard, you can banish it and another monster to fusion summon from your graveyard. So if you need to, you can use the Swirl Slime along with the Necroslime to pitch for Swirl Slime to fusion summon, and then you can banish with the Necroslime and the Swirl Slime you just discarded to fusion summon again. Usually you won't make that play because you'll be able to make much more explosive plays, but it's possible. It's there. It's a really good card. I think it's a definite 3 of. Then the next card we play is 3 copies of Kepler. Kepler's basically the Stratos of the deck. He gets you to any of your Dark Contract cards, which are your spell and trap cards, kind of keep the deck running. He's also a 10 scale, which does come up sometimes. You don't pendulum summon a lot in this deck, but him being a 10 scale definitely makes it possible, and it comes up. It can be relevant. The next card we play is 3 copies of Abyss Ragnarok. This is basically your quote-unquote boss monster. He's basically your rank 8 engine in a single card, is pretty much what he is. And like, he's got 3k defense, which is super relevant. Not a lot gets around it except for like Buster in terms of like stats. But he's also the card that generates your rank 8 plays, because basically you can, if he's normal or special summoned, you can target a DDD monster in your graveyard and special summon it, and you can also tribute another DDD monster to target one monster your opponent controls and banish it, which is really good. Note that his special summon effect only affects the monsters with 3Ds, so he can only target himself or the fusions or Leonidas, which we'll get to in a minute. But he can't target any of the smaller ones, including this card, which is Thomas. Thomas is super powerful. He's also the other piece that kind of gets your rank 8 engine going off. Thomas is super powerful, but you can't summon him off of Ragnarok because he is only a double D monster. However, you can very easily have Thomas on the field because of your Swirl Slime, and you can easily place a card in scale, destroy it, and activate Thomas' effect to special summon Ragnarok from the deck, which then is an instant rank 8, and that's super, super, super powerful. The deck's very explosive. Like, I mean, it can do a lot of stuff. Next card we play is 2 copies of Leonidas. Leonidas is a very good card, but he's not warranted at 3, like, for any reason. I mean, he's the least powerful in terms of like all your combo pieces. He's good to play because he enables you to make rank 7s a bit more easily, and sometimes the special summoning from your hand or pendulum zone, based upon the life point damage that you take, is super relevant. He's also 2600 beater, which can come in handy quite a bit, so he's pretty strong. That's actually it for the DDs that we play. For the rest of the monsters, I do play 2 Maxx C. I think Maxx C's, like, obviously the best hand trap. It's, like, super relevant right now, so you just kind of need to play it. And then we play a good bit of 1 So we play 1 Armageddon Knight. Armageddon Knight's pretty powerful. He helps to get a lot of your combo pieces into the graveyard that you wouldn't rather have. There aren't a lot of normal summons in the deck, and so the addition of Armageddon Knight really helps the deck to kind of generate its advantage. We do play 1 Glow Up Bulb. Glow Up Bulb is obviously super powerful, getting into the graveyard, allowing you to make good synchro plays. I mean, it's a really strong engine. And then we do play 1 copy of Farfa to get an easy banish. We do play Beatrice in the deck, so getting the Farfa into your graveyard with Beatrice is super easy to help kind of clear problem cards on the board. Same concept with the 1 Shaddoll Dragon. This was kind of a recommendation from a friend. We kind of ultimately decided that this card was pretty good, considering there are multiple ways to get it into the graveyard, and it's just kind of an easy out to some back row that could potentially be a problem card. The last monster we play is 1 copy of Puppet Master. I did not actually know that this card was, like, existed at all until a friend of mine at Locals told me that I was an idiot for not playing this card, and he was totally correct. This card actually is super, super powerful and helps you to make great Xyz plays. It's super easy to get out. You can easily just, like, fusion summon for a fusion, sack off the fusion to summon this, and this effect can actually just bring the fusion back, so it's easy rank 7 and rank 8 plays, and it can also be used to bring back fusion materials, so Puppet Master is really good. I've considered bumping it to 2 or 3, actually, but I have yet to test that, so 1 was good for the time that I've been playing the deck. It's been pretty strong. That's it for monsters. Moving on to spells, we play 3 Dark Contract with the Gate. This is basically your just generic search card. It gets any of your DD monsters. You take 1,000 damage during standby phase, just like all the Dark Contract cards. You usually want to get this off Kepler unless you already have it. It's really strong. A lot of times it'll stay on the board because your opponent won't think of it as like a super immediate threat. And if you can, like, break through their board or kind of survive their turn and get the extra search off of this card, it's super, super powerful. Then we play 2 copies of Dark Contract with the Swamp King. This is basically just a free fusion. You can use hand or field, and if you're summoning a DD monster, which is really all you're going to be summoning, you can also banish from your graveyard, which is super, super relevant. It definitely makes the Xyz plays and synchro plays a lot easier. The next card that we play is 3 copies of Allure. Allure's at 3. You should play 3. Draw power. It's really good. Then we play 2 Trade-In. Realistically, 2 Pot of Desires would be better. That card's just, I mean, it's good. I understand why it's good. But, you know, Trade-In's pretty good also, just because you're getting your combo pieces into the graveyard that you can then resummon. So I believe Trade-In has, like, an argument for being quote-unquote better than Desires, maybe, or maybe playing both of them. Personally, I don't really like Desires in the deck, just because you want to have as many of your combo pieces available to you as possible, but obviously that's up for personal opinion. So then we play 1 copy of 1 for 1. This is just to get to your Glow Up Bulb. It also lets you get into your Kepler, which can summon, can search when it's special summoned, so you can get your Dark Contract cards off of the Kepler. 1 copy of Foolish Burial, just to get some of those extra combo pieces into the graveyard, or to help send Dragon and Farfa to clear problem cards. 1 Upstart, because 39 card decks are consistent. 1 Twin Twister. You can main more of these cards. I side 2 of them. It's pretty strong. I mean, there's no argument to be made that this isn't a good card. It's a really powerful card. It's kind of self-explanatory. That's it for spells. And then the only 2 traps we play are 1 Vanities and 1 Dark Contract with the Witch. Witch is pretty powerful, but I wouldn't play it any more than 1. You basically discard a card to blow up a card, but it has to be, well, you send a DD card or Dark Contract card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Well, actually, sorry, it's only from your hand. But then you can target a card on the field and destroy it. And it does come up. It's pretty powerful. You can use it to help clear vanities, for example. Or just like blow up big monsters that you can't get over or something like that. It's pretty powerful. I liked having the one copy. So that's it for the main deck. It's 40 cards. Moving on to the extra deck. This is actually a 14 card extra deck because until recently I was borrowing a Omega, which should be in the sleeve right here, but it's not. So we play one formula. You can easily go into this with like Glow Up and Kepler, or Glow Up and Necro Slime, or just, there are multiple ways to make this card, and it's pretty good. We play one Spark Dragon for the other 8 besides Omega. Spark Dragon's pretty good, especially for protecting your Harbinger, because it's very easy to make a Hope Harbinger and then Synchro into Spark Dragon and use the Spark Dragon to protect the Harbinger, and it's a pretty solid board. We played one Utopia Beyond. I have yet to make this card, but in theory it's super good. I was kind of debating when I was with some friends when I was putting the extra deck together whether or not we should take out Big Eye or this card, and we kind of voted to take out Big Eye over this card because we thought this card was potentially better. Again, never made it, but it's potentially really strong. For the 1 rank 7, we have the Flare Metal Dragon. There's a combo you can do that comes up fairly frequently where you can basically put a 76 on board and then make a Flare Metal, and then your opponent just can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! So that's pretty good. We play one Hope Harbinger. This card's super strong. I make it like all the time, especially if you're going first. It's really strong to open this card in like a Beatrice, and then your opponent has a really tough time like keeping board presence, especially if you can make like this Beatrice and Spark Dragon, which isn't unheard of. Then it just becomes like a super powerful board. One Kali Yuga. This card's busted. If you don't know what this card does, he's basically, when he hits the board, he negates all the effects on the field, and you can't negates the effects of cards that you could activate on the field, and then you can Digimaterial to Heavy Storm. He's also 35, which is super huge. Last Xyz we play is one Beatrice. This just sends your Farfa and your Dragon and combo pieces and 2800 defense, and it's really good. And then we play one Pilgrim to summon off the Beatrice. And then we play, for the DDD fusions, triple Genghis. Genghis is by far the best one. He's super powerful. Gets a lot of your combos like initiated, and is also used for the Beatrice play. Then we play double Dark. Dark is definitely less powerful than Genghis. I think the 3 Genghis 2 Dark is pretty much where I want it. You can use him to make 7 plays, or use him to keep yourself from taking damage in your standby phases, which the gain that you get off of Dark, it can be super relevant. Gaining like 1,000 or 2,000 life points early on in the game can really help you to survive, to push through with your OTKs and such. And then the last card in the extra deck we play is one Ragnarok. This card's really good, especially against Dark Destroyer. In the Cosmo matchup, you can take their Dark Destroyer or something else to beat over their Dark Destroyer. I mean, he's real strong. You can make him with 2 DDD monsters, so you can use Ragnarok or any of the fusions or Leonidas to make this card. And he's just a really huge body, which is super relevant. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck. It's a really fun deck, super combo based, and I mean, it's a really fun deck if you're looking for something different, and you haven't tried out the deck, or you're interested in picking up the cards because you want to try it out after the support comes out. I recommend doing it. It's a super fun deck. And yeah, guys, it's been Noah with Team Deprive. Thanks for watching, and have a good rest of your day.